Okay, welcome to our first psychology lesson of e-learning, online learning, or whatever the heck we're doing here. But definitely a weird time. We'll talk about uh, this whole situation a little bit later on because there's a lot of things coming out psychology about coronavirus and what we're all experiencing right now and how this is just kind of a different time. But today we'll just quick introductory lesson. I don't want to take much of your time. I'll set a timer right here um, so I don't go over 12 minutes or around 12 minutes. Um, but we will discuss coronavirus later on. This is probably the generational situation that we talked about last week in class. I think it was last Wednesday that you're going to remember where you were at or what you were doing when you experienced something. Um, this is kind of what class will be. I'll have a video like this. You're not going to see my face the entire time. You don't need to. I did ask for you to respond to some questions this morning after my friend's video. And we may do some Zoom conferencing. Originally, I posted that we'd have one today on Wednesday, the 18th. Let's not do that. I have a bunch of coaching buddies that I'm having conference calls with today at 2:30, 4:30, 8. So I kind of want to be away from my computer for a little bit. So we won't Zoom conference today. If we do, it'll probably be on Friday. I'll try to get a short lesson today on emotions, see how that goes. And then we'll have a second lesson on emotions following up tomorrow or Friday morning. So if you have any questions, I believe I have a discussion board open on Google Classroom. Respond there. You can always send me an email. But let's go ahead and let's get going. Okay, so emotions. First thing we have to ask ourselves is why do we have emotions? What are our emotions? Have we experienced all of these? And up here we see, the list of different things that we've experienced in our life. And we ask ourselves in a scientific fashion, what causes our emotions? And what are things that make us happy? What are things that make us angry, shy? When are we proud? When are we embarrassed? Watching that video of Dr. Binkley, I was very proud because he's a guy who's overcome a lot of anxiety. When dealing with online learning, I've definitely been frustrated. So we ask ourselves in a scientific perspective, is this biological? Is this natural? Is this what we're supposed to feel? Or is this a learned behavior? And then also, if we better understand emotions, this will lead to our next lesson. If we better understand emotions, we now can better understand when emotions aren't handled the right way. And when emotions aren't handled the right way, that misbehavior or that odd behavior, abnormal behavior, could become a diagnosis of some sort of mental illness. So in order to look at mental illness, which is going to be the next 8 weeks of this class, or however many we have left, we need to first understand normal emotions first. So we ask ourselves, when you see these pictures, what emotions do you have? All right, that's my dude, Charlie. For me, this emotion is wow. Really, really proud of the dude. I miss that little baby. But that was a really fun day. It was kind of the first day that we were able as a family to take Charlie out because it was a really nice day in June. And we went to see one of our favorite bands play. They're a Buffett band, so they were playing about some songs about sharks, such as fins. And that was just a lot of fun to me. So that's a wow. I can't believe how big he's gotten and how much fun that was because it was our first outing as a family. Probably not a lot of emotions for you on this one, but for me, this is wow, what a great trip. This is when we went in November for Dayton versus Indiana State. Just an awesome experience. I got to hang out with Charlie at a airplane museum for 2 days, but I also look at this and going, oh, we're not complete. So there's that emotion of that was our past life. That was before Ruby came. So that was 2 months before Ruby was here, or a month and a half. And then this one right here, I know all of you are saying, oh, this one right here is I wish I could spend more time at home. And that was my immediate emotion of almost guilt, because this was sent to me during basketball season, almost guilt that I'm not there enough for my guys. And that is one blessing in disguise with this shutdown is I do get to hang out with my crew a little bit more. Uh, but they're getting big quick. Here they are yesterday. These are going to be some pictures that we look back to for a long time. And a weird St. Patrick's Day, but a great St. Patrick's Day that I get to spend with my family. Okay, so we ask ourselves, are emotions natural? And William James, he's an American psychologist. He lived late 19th century, early 20th century. He died, I believe, in 1910. And William James asks the question, are our emotions natural? Are they innate? Or are they learned? And he's famous for writing this. I know it's a little bit long, but bear with me. To the psychologist alone, can such a question occur? Why do we smile when pleased and not scowl? Why are we unable to talk to a crowd as we talk to a single friend? Why does a particular maiden turn our wits upside down? Okay, maiden being a lady. The common man, and none of you are the common man. The common man can only say, of course we smile. Of course our heart palpitates at the sight of the crowd. Of course we love the maiden. And so probably does each animal feel about the particular thing it tends to do in the presence of certain objects. To the lion, it is a lioness which is made to be loved. To the bear, the she-bear. To the broody hen, the notion would probably seem monstrous that there should be a creature in the world to whom a nestful of eggs was not utterly fascinating and precious and never to be too much sat upon object which it is to her. So pretty poetic, pretty romantic. But what he's saying right there is it just makes sense. When we're happy, we smile. When something's funny, we laugh. And the connections of emotions to the response to actions is just natural. But why is it natural? And if it is natural for humans, why do some individuals not experience these emotions? And if they don't experience these emotions, what exactly is going on? So natural reactions to certain things. Let's look first off at poop. Okay? If we bring up that we're going to bring a bunch of poop into the room, or Charlie runs over to me and goes, uh-oh, poop, it's not going to smell good. So to humans, why does poop smell bad? Think about it. Dogs eat it. Some gnats flock to it. Why is poop a bad smell to humans? That's a human thing. It's human psychology. The next thing we need to look at, why does this taste good? Chocolate. And some of you like chocolate, some of you don't. We hand Charlie a chocolate, he goes, yuck. He doesn't like it. But my wife loves it. And for me, the chocolate Thin Mints from Girl Scouts, fantastic. Well, for other species, chocolate is not good tasting. So why do humans like the taste of chocolate? And to others, it's not a pleasant taste. And then next off, they say you have to love your kids, right? And your parents love you. I love my kids. But do we have to love our children? But parents do. And why is it a natural emotion for us to love and to take care of our children, even though they're sometimes very, very hard to love? And it can be argued. We're going to look at a couple of cases. Serial killers. We're going to look at children who grow up to be school shooters. Why and how can their parents still love them? And it's a very interesting case as we look at that. But it is the natural emotion to love your children. So in this, next thing. Somebody walks up to you, they slap you or they punch you. What's your emotion? Not a lot of you are going to laugh. Not a lot of you are going to become, you're not just going to smile at it. You're probably going to be angry. And that's a natural common response to being punched or to being slapped. These are common human emotions with the situations that we go through. So why is that? Well, our lesson on emotions. Here are a couple things that we want to look at. Number one, why do emotions exist? That's the first thing we need to understand. Why do they exist? What are they there for? And then last but not least, can we scientifically identify how they work? And if we can identify how they work, we can then control our emotions. And if we control our emotions, we can control a lot of what we do. Okay, so do emotions control you? One lesson that we teach with our basketball team, and our guys all heard it this year, is you all have the right to have emotions. You're human. Have emotions, but don't be emotional. And I first learned this lesson or heard that quote, I believe, from this gentleman. This guy is Kevin Eastman. Kevin Eastman, as you can see here, is a basketball coach. He was an assistant coach for the Celtics when they won back-to-back world championships. He was an assistant for the Clippers, and now he goes around the world speaking. And Kevin Eastman used to always talk to this particular individual. This is Paul Pierce. And he told Paul Pierce, because Paul Pierce, extremely emotional guy, would let his emotions get the best of him. And I think all humans have done this. And he continued to tell Paul Pierce, the person who angers you controls you. Because with Paul Pierce, they would start a game and somebody would come up and just say something to him. And for the rest of the game, Paul Pierce was now in a one-on-one match with that other individual and forgot all about the team game. And Kevin Eastman, I learned this probably 10 years ago at a clinic from Kevin Eastman. And I love this quote, and I've used this with my staff. I've used this with our players. The person who angers you controls you. Do your emotions control you? And if your emotions do control you, is it for the good or is it for the bad? So we need to look at some other things. Now, my psychology professor taught it this way. He liked Star Trek. I have no idea if any of you know anything about Star Trek. I really don't either. But what I will tell you about Star Trek is the idea is that a couple of these individuals didn't have emotions. That they were, since they were half human, half alien or Klingon, whatever it might be, they ruled their decision making was all analytical. But still, when something came after them, they would run away. Or when they were in danger, you could sense the fear. So in looking at emotions the wrong way, do emotions control us? Absolutely they do. But in the TV sense, they always try to make characters very analytical. Emotions don't control them. They're very polished. They're very well thought in what they do. But that's not really life. That's not really what we will experience. Our emotions most definitely control us. And so it's not like a TV world where everything is analytical and everything is done because we have processed the cause and effect. We do a lot of things out of emotion. And if our emotions control us, that means that our emotions also motivate us towards our goals. So with the first question, why do emotions exist? We can answer that as being our emotions exist to motivate us to reach higher goals. And think about any goal that you've established for yourself. If you have strong emotions towards that goal, you are much more likely to attain that goal. If you have strong emotions towards that goal and the processes to get there, you will remain more committed to that goal. So the first answer that we can give for our lesson on emotion is that emotions exist to motivate us to reach our goals for a greater good. Here's a pretty cool quote. What emotion do you need to feel on a consistent basis to achieve your goals? Okay. When we come back tomorrow, we're going to look once again at the individual who had that rod shoved through his head when he was building the Transcontinental Railroad, an ISP gauge. We'll look a little bit about him and how his emotions changed when his brain changed? And then we also have to ask, are our emotions a personality that is greater than just the physical structure of our brain? It's kind of an open topic. We're not going to get a lot of direct answers here, but a lot of theories will come out. But once again, we're trying to understand emotions, so that way we can understand abnormal behaviors, abnormal emotions. Okay, I'll upload this video. You have no other homework today. This is it. Watch Dr. Binkley's video, respond to that questionnaire, and then we may have a Zoom conference later in the week. I'll also post a video at some point later this week, either Thursday or Friday. Have a great day. Stay safe. Wash your hands.